What's up everyone, welcome back to another tutorial. Today I'm just gonna quickly show you how to add a camera mask to make your camera not square. Make said mask and suggestion how you could animate it later on a future tutorial. My name is Pixelbeard. You may follow me on Twitch to talk to me live about any of those issues. I stream every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, but sometimes I stream more often because I love streaming. Let's get right into it. As you can see in OBS, we already have a camera. Before we can add a mask to our camera, we need to find one. I'll do one better. Let's make one. Let's switch over to Photoshop. We will create a new document. Document size needs to be the same as your camera resolution. So if it's 1080p, it's gonna be 1920 by 1080. And if it's 4K, you'll have to Google that because I don't remember that by heart. Well, for today's tutorial, 1920 by 1080, 72 resolution, doesn't really matter. Orientation is gonna be landscape. Let's create. We got a new untitled document. It's RGB and there's nothing in. A mask for OBS needs to be a white box on a black background. Let's do a nice rounded rectangle. Let's make it 1920 by 1080 and the X position is gonna be 0 and the Y position is gonna be 0. So we're making it nice and centered. As I mentioned earlier, it needs to be a white shape on a black background. So we're gonna pick our background, we're gonna pick the bucket, we're gonna default to solid black. Now we need to recolor our rectangle. Let's say it is a complicated shape that you've made or you've taken online and it is not the right color. The other option you have is you select your layer here and you go into the effects panel and you go into color overlay. Now it's not because this value here is white that it's actually through white. So we'll go click on it and confirm the X value here. Oh, here we go. It's not completely in the corner. The value for white is FFFFFF. We click OK on that. We now have a white shape on a black background. I'm going to give you an extra tip right now. If you are going to animate anything behind the camera, let's say in After Effects or some other software, you need some room for this effect. We'll do Control T, hold Alt, and then we'll leave ourselves some gap around it. Next thing we do is we export it as PNG. I'm gonna play Mom and Dad now. You should have everything used in OBS in one folder directly on your C drive. Why directly on the C drive? Because if you ever merge computer, then you can put it back in the C drive and you won't have to type your username that you may have changed every single place in OBS. Think about that. C drive, one folder called OBS asset. But for the moment, let's just put on the desktop. I call it mask, I save it. Next thing I'll do is I'll save my my mask overlay. So we call that mask, put it at the same spot, save that. We can now close out of Photoshop, get back into OBS. In OBS, things are pretty straightforward. You right click onto your camera and you go into filter. The bottom section, effect and filter, you click on plus and you will go into image mask blend, camera mask. I'll go on my desktop and pick my new mask. Now that we have this, we can even add a new, let's say a shadow. I'll be using a stream plugin called Stream Effects. I press the plus button. I go into SDF effects and I will add a outer shadow. Bring the distance up a little bit. And there we go. I now have a shadow on my camera. It looks a bit more 3D and you could be done. Let's take it one step further. Let me show you what I do for my camera on my own stream. We're going to go select that camera. We're going to go into filter. We'll delete this and we'll keep the camera mask. I'll change for my personal camera mask that is on the C drive in OBS asset. Wink, 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 wink. Very important. Now I'm going to bring in a new video. So a media source that we'll call camera overlay. Click OK, and now we'll go get my camera overlay that I made into another software. Couple important things. Anytime you add a video overlay, you will make sure that it's looping so it never restarts. We will uncheck show nothing when playback ends, and then we will click close file when it's active to save some extra resources. I now have my camera and I now have my overlay. Take your camera, go into transform and reset transform. Now go into your overlay, go into transform and reset transform as well. Voila! Because you've made your overlay and your mask and your camera 1080p. They all line up perfectly. Now, the second thing we do is we select on both of them, we right click and we group selected item, call that camera box. And if you ever need to resize your camera, you'll just click on the camera box. And the effect is always going to follow the size of your camera. You will never have to line them up again. And we are done. Wow, that was a lot of work in a very short amount of time. Thank you very much for watching. I need to get going because I actually got a stream in now 41 minutes. In the meantime, click like and subscribe. And if you have any other tutorial you would love to see me do, leave the idea down in the comment. I read them all. I absolutely love it. And remember, everyone, streaming is fun. Technical issues is even more fun for me. All right. Catch you next time.